A new life begins! Oh, destroy everything! Destroy everything! Destroy everything!
Connected. Searching. Framed.
Welcome to the Kassam Stadium. Happy New Year to everybody listening to us on Robin's World, CTFC.com. Cheltenham Town against Oxford United here at the Kassam Stadium. Pete Matthews and Mark Halliwell, your commentary team. And let's straight away give you the team news, which is all three of the youngsters signed by Paul Buckle on loan for Liverpool will start. They are the three changes from the side that lost at home to Newport on Sunday. So in comes Lloyd Jones to play at centre-half alongside Troy Brown. He replaces Jack Demon. In comes Kevin Stewart to play in midfield. He replaces Zach Kavitsa. The midfield four, interestingly, Matt Richards will play on the left, Ferdinand and Stewart in centre midfield, and Mari Sterling-James on the right. And Jack Dunn comes in for Harry Williams up front. Dunn, who scored 15 goals in 21 games for Liverpool's under-21, which means the bench for Cheltenham, Demon, Kavitsa and Williams drop to the bench. The rest of the bench is the substitute goalkeeper Matt Gould, Byron Harrison, Andy Harrison. And Joe Hanks. Mark Halliwell, no place for Paul Black.
No.
Do we read anything into that?
Well, I think he's just the odd one out, really, with the three Liverpool lads coming in. I think something has to give. Also, Bobby Dale, who was on the bench last week and came on actually at the end of the game. So he too, probably a little bit on. He too is the odd one out. So a couple of lads have had to drop out of the bench. Joe Hanks back fit again after he missed the game on Sunday after getting that knock against Exeter. He was knocked out and bashed about a bit early in the game, so he's out of the side, back in the reckoning as well. But really interesting to see how these boys are going to do today. These Liverpool lads through the spine of the team. I'm really excited about Jack Dunn up front. He's the one who I think has the biggest reputation of the three, and I think he's the one I'm really looking forward to seeing.
I think those of us who watch Cheltenham on a regular basis will know that the team has lacked two things: mobility and pace.
That's right, and I think that's what these three lads will bring. I think Stewart in midfield, apparently quite an all-action sort of player, so looking forward to seeing him there, and also Jack Dunn with that bit of pace up front. Yeah, I think it's a big one. I mean, I think he's got better as he's gone along, and that has coincided, I think, with him being able to play in central midfield. He was a bit sidelined out onto the right-hand side for the first few games, he nearly scored a couple of goals at Mansfield. In fact, he probably should have scored at least one at Mansfield from that position. But then last two games, I think Exeter and Newport, I think he's looked much better playing in central midfield. And I think it's quite significant, the fact that, when I did the interview earlier, you may have heard with Paul Buckle at the top of the programme, that's why I specifically asked him, is Kane Ferdinand going to be put back out on the right-hand side? Because I don't want him to play on the right-hand side. I want him to play in the middle. And ironically enough, he's actually going to move Matt Richards out to the left-hand side to accommodate keeping Kane Ferdinand in the centre.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think Kane Ferdinand burst onto the scene, clearly from a famous footballing family. He was excellent at Southend. I remember Mark and I were at Roots Hall on another very cold evening, although that was end of March, and Cheltenham were annihilated. Sir John Batty was sent off. Cheltenham lost 4-0. Kane Ferdinand ran the show that night. He's definitely got the capability. There's no doubt about it. He has rather lost his way. Now is a chance for him to play in centre midfield and to make that position his own. I mean, you've got to remember, Kane Ferdinand's only 22.
Yeah,
I'm sure somebody can do the stats for us. I've just mentally tried to calculate the average age of this Cheltenham Town side. I think it's 24 is the average age of this side.
Well, there's only one player over 30, and that was Matt Richards, and he was only 30 on Boxing Day. So that says quite a lot. I think the average age of the team that played against Newport was 23 and a half.
Yeah.
So there you are. And it won't have gone up. In fact, it might have come down a bit because Demon is older than Jones, whereas the other two lads, Stewart and Dunn, are about the same age as the Cheltenham young lads who they replaced.
So teams out here at the Kassam. Reminder of that Cheltenham Town side. Trevor Carson in goal. Vaughan and Brown back at the fullbacks. Jones and Brown in centre defence. Going to have to get used to a few new names. Kevin Stewart, Kane Ferdinand centre midfield. Matt Richards on the left. Amari Sterling-Jones on the right. And Jack Dunn and Terry Gornell up front.
So, yeah. And the substitutes bench for Cheltenham today: Gould, Harrison, Demon, Howard, Hanks, Kubica, Williams. So it's not a bad. There's a few options on that bench, aren't there? Bit of youth on there, bit of pace on there. So a few options should Paul Buckle need them. A healthy turnout from Cheltenham on the far side, probably about getting on for 250 to 300, I'd say.
This afternoon, that's the first time in 2015 that Year 2 teams are visitors Cheltenham Town. 1, Thomas Larson. 2, Lee Ball. 3, Craig Glashouse. 5, Troy Brown. 7, Kate Ferdinand. 8, Matt Richards. 10, Terry Gornell. 19, Amari Sterling-Jones. 26, Coach Stewart. 28, Jack Dunn. 29, Lloyd Jones.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome to a very chilly Kassam Stadium. It's one of my least favourite venues when we go travelling. It's 3 fairly faceless stands and an empty end away to our left. And of course, we get the wind coming in into our commentary point right at the back of the stand in which the managers' dugouts are in front of the main stand here at the Kassam. And we look out on the swathe of cars in the entertainment complex away to our left. Let's give you that Cheltenham team now, just to confirm it. Trevor Carson in goal. Lee Vaughan is at right back. Craig Brown Bad at right back. Lloyd Jones at centre half with Troy Brown alongside him. Matt Richards will play on the left. Amari Sterling-Jones will play on the right side of midfield. Kane Ferdinand and Kevin Stewart in centre midfield. And up front, Jack Dunn and Terry Gornell. The bench for Cheltenham: Matthew Gould, Byron Harrison, Jack Demon, Andy Howard, Joe Hanks, Zach Kubica and Harry Williams. We haven't said much about Oxford. Let's just talk about them. They're going to play 4-3-3, we think. Ryan Clark is the goalkeeper. John Meads will play at right back. Tarek Holmes, Dennis will play at left back. The 2 centre halves will be the captain Away we go with Cheltenham in red and white striped shirts, white shorts, white socks, attacking the goal away to our right. That's the home end. Oxford United in their usual yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. And here is Holmes Dennis to Hilton. Hilton tries to bring in Wes Burns on this near side. Out of play it goes from Lee Vaughan in the right back position for Cheltenham, and Oxford have a throw level with the Cheltenham penalty area down the Cheltenham right. Ferdinand beaten by Andy Wing. Wing will spread it across from left to right for Oxford United, going down the right hand side. Here is an opportunity for Hilton. Hilton tries to get a cross in, can't do so. And it's James Roberts trying to get a cross in over on that far side, the Oxford United right. Throw for them level with the Cheltenham penalty. Cheltenham rather switched off there, and Oxford have the chance to potentially get a cross in. Graham Barrett need to block it. It's laid back to Wing. Wing has got time here to measure up a cross. He gets it in. It's away by Troy Brown for Cheltenham. And Gornell will give chase for this, and Che Dunkley on his debut for Oxford hooks it forward to Wing, and Oxford just keeping possession well here. They're still inside their own half. Now they're coming forward because that's a really good turn. And here suddenly is an opportunity for Oxford into the penalty area, and a good save by Trevor Carson, and it needed to be. Cheltenham cut apart through the middle, and James Roberts' shot, well saved by Trevor Carson. That could have been a goal inside the first 2 minutes.
Well, it could well have been, and it was very poor from Cheltenham. Wing did very well, got away from Richards, laid it into Roberts. He had far too much space on the edge of the penalty area. He got the shot in, and Cheltenham again grateful to Trevor Carson.
Corner for Oxford, which Josh Ruffles will take. In it comes. It's headed away by Lloyd Jones and volleyed forward by Sterling James, and he has done all by himself, and he will give chase here. He has got pace about him. Out comes the goalkeeper Ryan Clark and clears. Kevin Stewart will jump for that in centre midfield, wins a header. Amari Sterling James, neat cushion ball to Stewart. Stewart then tries to bring in Lee Vaughan, can't do so. Out of play it goes, throw to Oxford on the halfway line. I don't think Matt Richards has settled into that left-sided position at all.
Well, not really. It was Andy Wing did beat him rather too easily, but also the centre halves rather lost James Roberts. He was all on his own in there, but once again a fabulous save by Trevor Carson. Lloyd Jones will feel a lot happier though, because he won a very, very good header from the corner.
He did. Here come Oxford then with Jake Wright, the captain, just outside his own penalty. Plays the ball short, and Oxford will play it back to Wright. He didn't really want it there, but he plays the ball forward looking for Hilton. Troy Brown comes across. Referee doesn't give a foul. Oxford wanted a foul and driven forward to Gornell. Now there's no width on that left-hand side. Brian Barrett will try and provide it, and this is Brian Barrett on the halfway line, up against John Meads, and goes outside Meads. Now, can he get a cross in here? He can't. Good defending by Meads. Throw for Cheltenham down that left-hand side, midway inside the Oxford half.
That's what I was a bit worried about earlier in the preview when I said who's going to provide the natural width on the left. Cheltenham's just a bit lopsided because Sterling James is going to push up on the right-hand side, but then you are going to need Brian Barrett to provide it on the left-hand side because, you can't see Richards as the sort of, he's going to be a flying winger who's going to take on his man.
Here is Richards back to Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett down the Cheltenham left. Brian Barrett's ball in. Looking for Gornell. Can Gornell turn on the edge of penalty? He can't. Oxford get it away. Cheltenham win it back, and Brian Barrett then dispossessed, but the ball goes harmlessly out of play, and it'll be a throw for Cheltenham, 10 yards or so inside the Oxford half, down the Cheltenham left.
Cheltenham just trying to settle into the game. First real decent bit of possession that they've had, and but they've lost it here, and
they have lost
just where they've got to be careful. Got to be careful in midfield because Oxford, of course, playing that three in there might just have the extra man at times.
Oxford chip the ball forward, looking for Hilton, who comes short. Lovely touch by Hilton. Good football by him to Meads. Meads to Wing. Wing's ball into the channel. Hilton will go for it. Troy Brown is there. Heads it back to Trevor Carson. BBC Radio Gloucester. Don't forget 2 commentaries today. This one with you through until 4:30. And then the rugby from Sandy Park. Gloucester away at Exeter. And we'll bring you 2 live commentaries on the first sporting Saturday of 2015. Here is an important tackle by Ferdinand. Gets the ball away only as far as Burns. Burns midway inside the Cheltenham half. Plays it short. Well intercepted by Brown. And now Matt Richards will try and send Dunn. And Dunn might get in behind the defence here. Good defending by Dunkley, who basically shepherded the ball back to Ryan Clark. You could see exactly what Cheltenham were trying to do.
Yeah, and you saw it as soon as Troy Brown gave the ball to Matt Richards. He pointed upfield as if to say, that's the ball you need to play now. And he played it up, and Jack Dunn using his pace. Oh, Ryan Clark nearly
he did nearly give it away, and then Sterling James hasn't really got in the game. He couldn't win that there, but Vaughan had helps him out, and it'll be a throw for Cheltenham on the halfway line. Don't forget, Steve Kitchen in the studio. 81333 is the text number. Standard network charges apply, or tweet at BBC Golf. What are your views on this Cheltenham team? And also, what are your views on the hits and misses of 2014 to 15 today? Who are the players who've impressed you? Perhaps who are the players who haven't impressed you so much? So for Cheltenham, midway inside the Oxford half, down the Cheltenham right.
Cheltenham just growing into the game, just trying to get into the game. As you said, Sterling James hasn't really been in it, but you can see already Cheltenham might be able to worry Oxford a bit with the pace in the team on the break, and that's what I think they're going to try and do, try and spring Jack Dunn, trying to get him running off the shoulder of the centre halves.
Good tackle by Kevin Stewart for Cheltenham. Amari Sterling James to Dunn. That's a lovely ball by Dunn. That should have been an advantage. Really poor refereeing by Keith Hill. It was a really lovely bit of link-up play. Great tackle by Kevin Stewart and a good link-up play between Sterling James and Dunn. And why the referee didn't play an advantage, I do not know.
No, I'll agree with that completely, because Amari Sterling James had the ball in the inside left channel, and he looked like he was going to have a little run on goal.
Cheltenham take the free kick short to Matt Richards. Richards down the Cheltenham left. So decides to go by himself. Lays it wide to Brian Back. Brian Back cuts inside and surely has overrun that. Across comes the defender. Good defending by John Mead. So that's the ball got to play. Goal kick for Oxford United.
So after that early scare with the shot from Richards saved by Carson, Cheltenham have just picked up a bit and Cheltenham just settled into the game and tried to worked a couple of decent little half chances, but not been able to really test Ryan Clark. But again, we've already seen the pace of Jack Dunn, which I think could really be an asset for Cheltenham here today.
Here's Stewart in a really good position for Cheltenham, just can't keep possession. And then Gornell is beaten to the ball, and Oxford will build from the back with their captain Jake Wright. Right to Holmes Dennis, and then back to Wright, who chips the ball forward. And Hilton again is coming short every opportunity. Lloyd Jones does well.
Well, Hilton's going to be the one. He's sort of playing down he's playing on the left-hand side of the three. Burns in the middle and Roberts on the right, but they're going to interchange. So, and Hilton's going to be the one who's going to drop off deep. And Cheltenham have got to decide then whether they go with him or whether they let him go into that space, or whether Jones then hands him over to one of the midfield players to mark. But they cannot allow Hilton to get into those little spaces and into those little pockets with the ball.
Ferdinand short to Richards, and Richards with a slightly ungainly ball to Troy Brown, and Troy Brown to Lloyd Jones. Jones just inside his own half spreads the ball diagonally to Brian Back. Brian Back controls it and then has to win the ball back because his second touch wasn't very good, but he's done well there. And Cheltenham have found Matt Richards, and Richards puts the ball out of play. I'm not sure about Matt Richards playing down the left side. A bit like Ferdinand playing down the right.
Well, it is a bit.
He's a centre midfield player,
yeah,
Matt Richards.
No, it is a bit.
Here come Oxford trying to spread the ball onto this near side to Cheltenham right. Holmes Dennis up against Lee Vaughan. Vaughan's done well there, but Holmes Dennis has won possession back. Referee says Vaughan fouled Holmes Dennis rather unnecessarily. It was a free kick. It is a free kick for Oxford, 5 yards or so inside the Cheltenham half.
No, I agree with you. Matt Richards I'm sure, it's a bit of an alien position for him. It gets the left foot balance, I know, but, whether you would really have wanted a proper, a proper winger, maybe a Zach in there, or even an Andy Howarth in there, somebody with, who's a natural, got to give you some natural width on that side.
Good defending by Gornell, and then there's a shot from distance from Shay Dunkley, which is well gathered by Trevor Carson. I'm just looking at this Oxford formation. I think it is 4-3-3, but it's a fairly fluid 4-3-3.
Very fluid, because the front three will interchange about. It isn't, one's playing on the left, one's playing on the right. They're going to move around, but Andy Wing is the key to it in midfield. He's the sort of playmaker in midfield there, and he's already been very, very prominent in these in this opening 10 minutes.
Oxford, good football by them, but Kevin Stewart will intercept, and then he gets dispossessed himself, and Oxford are able to spread the ball wide onto the right-hand side to John Meads, the right back. Meads short to Ruffles. Ruffles in centre midfield. Spreads the ball out to this Oxford United left-hand side where Holmes Dennis controls it well. Amari Sterling James wins possession back for Cheltenham. A good play by him. Brings in Lee Vaughan. And Vaughan's ball is a poor one, but then Wing's header goes straight to Kevin Stewart. Stewart short to Dunn. Dunn tries to spin his man. Can't do so. You can see what he was trying to do. And Oxford will build from the back with Holmes Dennis midway inside his own half. Poor ball forward, though, by Andy Wing. And then poor play by Lee Vaughan to give possession straight back to Oxford. Neither side are keeping possession of the ball, probably
No.
quite as which their managers would like.
No, you can tell it's two teams, one in 16th and one in 18th. It's not exactly fluid stuff at the moment.
Here's Kane Ferdinand for Cheltenham. Short to Stewart. Stewart short to Dunn. Dunn spins away for his man. That's what we want to see. And he's brought down by Wing in the centre circle. And that's going to be a card for Andy Wing. Very early card for the Oxford United centre midfield player. And you could see every time Jack Dunn gets the ball, he's not very big, low centre of gravity. He's trying to spin his man wherever he is in the pitch.
Did ever so well there, really. It was good play by Stewart. He won the ball and looked straight for his pal, didn't he? He knew where he was going to make the run as well. And that's going to help as well. I think you bring three players in who are used to playing alongside each other, as Cheltenham have. They're going to know how they play. They're going to know their runs. They're going to know where they want the ball.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, because we had a very interesting conversation, Mark and I, with the Cheltenham Town youth manager, Russell Milton, before the game. We'll just share a couple of nuggets there. Here's Lee Vaughan for Cheltenham. Lays the ball wide to Sterling James. Good ball. Sterling James an opportunity for cross. Cuts inside his man. Now he's got to beat his man again, and he can't get the cross in. Mark Halliwell shakes his head in frustration. Should have played the ball in early, and then Lloyd Jones's ball into the channel, looking for Sterling James over hit. Behind it goes for a goal kick. Now, Mark, I know you're frustrated by Sterling James not getting that cross in, but one of the things Mark Russell Milton said to us is, he said, when you have players who've grown up together, people like Bobby Dale and Harry Williams was the example he used. They are used to each other's game.
Yeah.
They instinctively know what they're going to do.
They do.
And this Cheltenham Town youth team that are coming through,
Yeah.
they've played a lot of games together. They will be used to playing together. Same principle with the Liverpool three.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Zach and Harry and Joe Hanks and James Bowen and all these boys and Bobby, as you said, the ones who are coming through. You look at that chance that Harry Williams had on Sunday when Bobby Dale it was who laid the ball off into space. He knew where Harry was going to be, and Harry made that run, and I still to this day say it was a penalty. And you look at Jack Dunn and Kevin Stewart especially. I think those two playing further up the pitch, they're going to know instinctively where each other are going.
Poor ball by Lee Vaughan. Amari Sterling James hasn't really got into the game yet, and he was sold short there. Here's Hilton on the edge of the penalty area. Goes outside, Kane Ferdinand. Still into the penalty area he goes. Good defending by Lloyd Jones, and Lloyd Jones gets it away. Gornell hasn't been in the game at all. He doesn't get anywhere near that. And then a volley ball by Sterling James looking for Dunn. Dunn can't get to it. Cheltenham on the back foot just a bit at the moment. They're not retaining possession as well as I'm sure as their manager would want. Rob Edwards out gesticulating to his players as well. Just don't be too hurried. Oxford, to be fair to them, and Michael Appleton, they're certainly trying to play a patient passing game.
Yeah.
And they are more patient in possession than Cheltenham.
Yeah, they've been better in possession so far in the opening in these opening exchanges. Definitely Oxford. Cheltenham, as you say, not been able to really keep possession for any length of time, while Oxford, as you say here, doing it again here, building patiently, always looking for Hilton, aren't they? Hilton's the focal point up front, and then he wants the other two, I think, Burns and Roberts, to play off him, and that's the way they seem to be working it at the moment.
BBC Radio Gloucester, Cheltenham 0, Oxford United 0 here at a very cold Kassan. Well, I think the rain might actually have stopped.
Yes,
you know?
I think it has.
You might even see a glimmer of blue sky. Good ball by Richards to Dunn. Dunn comes off his man, spins away for his man, tries to find Gornell. Right idea. Gornell didn't read the ball, and Terry Gornell hasn't yet got into the game at all. Good header by Lloyd Jones for Cheltenham. He started well, the centre half. Amari Sterling James up against Holmes Dennis. Holmes Dennis wins that one down the Cheltenham Town right. And now here is Wes Burns just inside the Cheltenham half. And he goes past one man, tries to go past the second, and wins a throw for Oxford United midway inside the Cheltenham half, which Holmes Dennis, left back for Oxford, takes quickly. Finds the captain right. Right spreads it across. And Oxford will play it short, will they? Mullins almost a defensive midfielder, so it's slightly unusual formation. Mullins normally a centre half. It's not really a five at the back formation, but Mullins is certainly playing very deep in that midfield.
I think he drops in when he has to.
Good play by Wes Burns. Wes Burns brings in the aforementioned centre half.
Mullins.
And then Meads has to lay the ball back to Clark to Dunkley, behind Dunkley. And Oxford are going nowhere fast here, partly because they don't look very confident in possession. They give the ball away. And here is Dunn into the penalty area. Was he fouled on the edge of the penalty area? Cheltenham think he was twice. Paul Buckle infuriated, and the referee doesn't give anything. It was Oxford dilly-dallying, I'm afraid. And then a late tackle by Lloyd Jones on Hilton, and that could be a card for the Cheltenham centre-half on his debut.
Well, I don't think Dunn was fouled, I have to say.
It is a card. Lloyd
Lloyd
Jones
is booked. Well, Keith Hill's not mucking about with the cards, is he? That's it's practically you commit a foul, you get a card. I think that's how it's been so far. Andy Wing and now Lloyd Jones booked, but I don't think it was a foul on Dunn on either occasion on the edge of the penalty area. Of course, the Cheltenham. Again, you look at the reaction of the player, and the player didn't seem to make much fuss about it. So the fans did, but he didn't. And of course, it's January.
It's January. We have the vanishing spray. Quite why we need it here is beyond me. There's no Cheltenham wall at all, but we do have the vanishing spray. Now we have, well, that's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. There's no way that's 10 yards, is it? For
well, Amara's not 10 yards.
15. It's about 15 yards. Here's a free kick for Oxford, taken by Ruffles into the penalty area. Che Dunkley heads it across goal, headed on by Mees. Oh, and Cheltenham just a little bit poor at the back, but now they get the ball away, and Cheltenham will break down the Oxford United left. Gornell has overrun it though, given possession away, and Oxford are able to come forward. Actually, it was Ferdinand, apologies, gave possession away. And now here come Oxford with Wes Burns. Burns has got Holmes Dennis outside him. Burns cuts in field. Cheltenham need to get back. Holmes Dennis into the penalty. A foul on Lloyd Jones by Danny Hilton, which from a Cheltenham viewpoint is just as well, because Cheltenham have been sucked across to their left, leaving plenty of space down their right, and Holmes Dennis almost in behind. So it's getting to be a lively old game. 2 early yellow cards. One good save by Trevor Carson very early on. Oxford probably just about ahead on points. 17 minutes gone. Oxford 0, Cheltenham 0. And here come Cheltenham down the Oxford United right with their Cheltenham's left back, Brian Barrett, who just has to hold play up. Let's back to Richards. Richards has done well. His cut goes past one man, he's overrun it. Here's Lloyd Jones, spreads the ball wide, looking for Brian Barrett. The referee said Richards left a leg in, and that will be a free kick to Oxford United midway inside their own half.
We need to get Amari Sterling-James into the game. He hasn't really been in it yet. He's just moved out to the left-hand side, I noticed, and we do need to get him into the game. He had half an opportunity for a cross earlier on, and he got half a yard, and then he decided to check back. I just wish he'd have put that ball into the box. Cheltenham would just switch formation a bit.
Kevin Stewart is playing on the right. Now it's a good interception by Stewart. Stewart started well. Here's Gornell, played through by Dunn. Across comes Duncan, he puts the ball out of play. Nothing against Terry Gornell at all, but he and Dunn are on the same wavelength. If you had somebody on the same wavelength as Dunn, you'd have real problems, I think, if you're Oxford United.
Yeah, not at the moment. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll get used to each other as the game goes on.
Good play by Lee Vaughan for Cheltenham. He's done well down that Cheltenham right. That's a good ball. Kevin Stewart, 35 yards from goal. Matt Richards available. Richards might think about a shot here, instead of which he spreads it wide to Sterling-James. Sterling-James to Brian Barrett, and it doesn't work, which is a great shame because Cheltenham would have been in a very good position. Ferdinand wins it back for Cheltenham. Good play by Cheltenham. Good little spell this for the visitors. Chip forward by Matt Richards over everybody's head, and now Oxford will have the opportunity to break down the Cheltenham right. Stewart has to do some defensive work. He's the one who's almost been sacrificed to move out to the right.
He has, yeah.
Fair dues, Paul Buckle. I don't think, I'm afraid, Matt Richards is a left-sided midfield player.
No.
Don't see it myself. Steve Kitchen, you might have a text message on that. Yeah, I mean, it is bowled by Paul Buckle, but he's made the point as Cheltenham give the ball away. That was a combination of Stewart and Ferdinand, and now they're in trouble. And here is an opportunity for Oxford. It's going to fall to Hilton on the edge of the penalty area. Hilton has got man across. There it is, a goal for Oxford. Wes Burns, the chip by Hilton. Burns' header, all too simple, I'm afraid. Cheltenham gave the ball away in centre midfield, and from that moment they were always struggling. Good compact play by Oxford inside the penalty area. They had their three strikers in there, and an easy headed goal for the home side. It's Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0.
Yeah, lost the ball. Stewart and Ferdinand just got in a bit of a mix-up, gave the ball away, and it came down into the and then the front three worked it very well between them. I thought Roberts, Hilton, and Burns. They were very, very patient. They worked the opening. Nobody had a rash shot. Just thought, I'm in a position, I'm going to have a shot. No, they worked it well. Unfortunately, Cheltenham couldn't deal with it. It was a decent little dink ball in, and Burns was able to head it in. His second goal against Cheltenham this season for two different clubs.
Second headed goal as well.
Indeed.
Here's Lee Vaughan for Cheltenham, and the ball goes off Vaughan out of play. Throw for Oxford United, and Paul Buckle not happy with his goalkeeper. Trevor Carson rather skewed the clearance, and nothing Carson could do about the goal.
No.
But the goal was coming, wasn't it? One of those ones where you think they're going to score here. Not in terms of the overall game.
Oh, but in terms of the move. Yes,
yeah.
In the move. Yes. It was always a. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Stewart has one possession for Cheltenham. Not tries to get Amari Sterling James in. Cheltenham a bit ragged at the moment. They had a spell where they looked okay, but they're a bit ragged, and they trail here again. No clean sheet. Clean sheet. Last one at Morecambe back in September, and they're behind again here, and they're going to have to score, which is something they have not done very often. 5 goals in the last 9 games for Cheltenham Town in the league. Ruffles for Oxford United. Short to Holmes Dennis. Holmes Dennis goes past one man, goes past the second, but he's run the ball out of play, and that will be a goal kick for Cheltenham Town.
Good defending by Matt Richards on that occasion. Just almost went in to put a foot in on Holmes Dennis and caused him to lose control, and that's what sent the ball out. But no, Cheltenham need to. Well, Paul Buckle, didn't he? He said he was pleased that they didn't fold against Newport last week, and I think his quote after the game was, "We won't fold under me." Let's wait and see. Let's hope not, because they have done that in the past. They have been guilty of that in the past. And but let's hope that Paul Buckles, as he said last week, he said that Cheltenham will not fold under his management. So let's hope that's true.
Ferdinand now playing on the right side of midfield. This midfield looks unbalanced to me. Forward towards Gornell by Richards, and I'm afraid Gornell is taken off that ball far too easily. Here is Holmes Dennis. Holmes Dennis' ball forward, and Jones is in a bit of trouble against Hilton. In the end, Troy Brown helps him out, and Kane Ferdinand back to Vaughan, and Cheltenham are going backwards, and Lloyd Jones in the end drives the ball forward, looking for Dunn, headed out of play, throw for Cheltenham on the half. Well, and this midfield balance, you can see what Paul Buckle's trying to do, but effectively, Mark Halliwell, he's got 3 centre midfielders, and he's now tried Stewart on the flank, he's tried Richards on the flank, and now he's trying Ferdinand on the flank.
And as you said, he wants that's what he wants, but it's not quite working for him at the moment.
Gornell is not in the game at all, and he's dispossessed there.
Struggling at the moment, Gornell.
He's struggling. He's not holding the ball up at all, and Cheltenham, as a result, are finding things difficult. They trail here by 1-0. Wes Burns' goal for the home side after a cross by Danny Hilton. Good work by all 3 strikers. And Cheltenham at the moment, I'm afraid, are second best. Here's Meads, cuts inside Sterling James, who hasn't been in the game at all either. One of the stars of Sunday, Amari Sterling James, but just not in this game at all. Here's Wing. Wing spreads the ball wide onto the Oxford United left. Here's Holmes Dennis up against Kane Ferdinand. Lays it back to Ruffles. Ruffles chip ball looking for Burns. Good header away by Lee Vaughan. And here's Dunn. Dunn, though, is dispossessed, but Cheltenham win it back. Good play by Ferdinand. Now here's Kevin Stewart. Ball gets stuck under his legs, and he plays it short to Dunn. Poor ball, easily intercepted. And now Cheltenham have got to get back defensively. And Stewart has done well. He's growing into this game, Stewart.
Good tackle that after a poor pass. He did very, very well to win the ball back there against Andy Wing.
That's a good ball by Vaughan to Gornell. Gornell chests the ball down, lays it back to Richards. Richards has got Ferdinand available. Cheltenham are a bit narrow here. The width is provided by Vaughan down the right. And then Richards caught in possession and played forward rather hopefully by Ferdinand. And Oxford are able to clear with Jake Wright up to Hilton. And Cheltenham don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Hilton has dropped off. And here he goes again. And he's going to try and go past one man. He does go past one man. But Troy Brown comes across and helps out Brian Barrett, who's the man who Danny Hilton beat relatively easily.
That's what I said about Hilton dropping into little pockets of space. He did it there, and Cheltenham hadn't picked him up, and he was just able to run at them. And then it was a case of who was going to tackle him.
They're a bit ragged at the moment, Cheltenham. Here's Holmes Dennis up against Kane Ferdinand. Holmes Dennis short to the goal scorer, Wes Burns. Burns has got Ruffles available. Good tackle by Matt Richards, but the ball spins away from him, and Andy Wing finds Wes Burns, and Burns helps it on with an extravagant back flick to Holmes Dennis, and Holmes Dennis is inside the penalty area. Good play by the fullback, shooting chance, good block by Lloyd Jones. It needed to be. And Amari Sterling-James very poor in the tackle, gives possession away. He is wing on the edge of penalty. Good tackle by Kevin Stewart. But Oxford have kept possession and they go for goal. Another good block by Lloyd Jones. They're losing the midfield tackles with the exception of Kevin Stewart.
Yes,
Kevin Stewart has put
exactly
more tackles in, frankly, than the rest of the team put together. He and Lloyd Jones, I know Jones has been booked, but both of them have started pretty well.
Yeah.
And Jones then with a good tackle on Hilton, and then Troy Brown with a complete air shot. And Cheltenham
just needs
guilty of
just no composure in some places. You know, as you said, Kevin Stewart's one of those. Now, Cheltenham need to try and get up the pitch, and that's what Brian Barrett's trying to do.
What Brian Barrett's trying to do. Brian Barrett's got support here from Stewart's chip ball and looking for Dunn, doesn't find him. You can see what he's trying to do, and Oxford have it. And you just worry a little bit about Cheltenham's shape, Mark Halliwell.
That was just a bit ambitious from Stewart, you know. He needs to try and just try and keep it simple a bit. He was just trying to play almost the Hail Mary pass through to Dunn there, and he just wants to be a little bit more safety first in a way. You know, he had Brian Barrett out to his left-hand side who he could have used, but as I said earlier, seen nothing of Sterling James from an attacking point of view. And after he was so irrepressible on Sunday, Cheltenham just haven't been able to get him into the game at all.
Here is Stewart's ball in. That's a good ball. And Dunn is in behind the defence. The goalkeeper comes out and gets it at the second attempt. Right ball by Stewart. Good run by Dunn. You could see exactly what they were trying to do.
That was better. Played it along the field. Dunn going into that left-hand channel. Made a good run. And it needed good defending from Dunkley. But I still worry about the movement of the Oxford front three is what is really causing Cheltenham problems.
27 minutes gone. BBC Radio Gloucestershire. First commentary of 2015 on the football. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0. Don't forget rugby to come at 4:30 at Sandy Park. Gloucester away at Exeter. Full commentary on that one as well. Two commentaries on your first match day of 2015. Gornell just not in this game at all. Not holding the ball up. And he's given possession away. And Paul Buckle must be frustrated. Be frustrated.
Yeah, must be.
You can see what the football Paul Buckle wants his team to play, but they're not playing it, I'm afraid, at the moment. Here's Stewart, who's been excellent, but he's going to be pulled back because of a foul on Tariq Holmes-Dennis. Paul Buckle is giving instructions to Kane Ferdinand. Ferdinand did the foul. Keith Hill's not going to book Ferdinand. Two players booked very early on. Andrew Wing of Oxford, Lloyd Jones on his debut for Cheltenham. And Oxford lead by Wes Burns' headed goal by 1-0. And Cheltenham haven't had a shot really, have they, Mark?
No, haven't been able to test Clark just yet. Some nice little bits of approach play, but again, it's all about that final ball again. And Cheltenham haven't been able to find that final ball and haven't been able to get done in behind and get the centre halves turning, which is what they want to do. As you say, Gornell's hold-up play hasn't been as good as it been in the last couple of games.
Richards on the edge of the penalty area. Stewart with an important tackle to help out Richards, whose tackle was a little bit powder puff, I'm afraid. And Stewart just took no prisoners and hit the ball out of play.
He's looked okay, Kevin Stewart.
I think he's fully the standout Cheltenham performer so far in the first half hour.
Yeah. He's given the ball away a couple of times, but when he's done so, he's won it back as well. So from that point of view, but disappointed with it's Sterling James who Cheltenham really want to get into the game, and he just hasn't been able to do so at all.
No, not been in the game at all. Here's Che Dunkley on the halfway line. Gornell comes to him, and good play by Terry Gornell. Just put pressure on Dunkley. And Cheltenham, though, again guilty of the ricochet going the wrong way. And here's Hilton, a long way out. Oh, and Sterling James has lost his man. Meads into the penalty area. Good defending by Jones, only way as far as Hilton. And then a terrific block by Troy Brown. Sterling James completely lost his man.
Lost his run up, lost Meads. He came down that right-hand side. And oceans of space, but a really good ball in. Good defending, firstly by Jones and then by Troy Brown. Saved the day, but Sterling James, and again
Meads again away from his man too easily, and Troy Brown puts it behind for a corner. And Sterling James, I think we might have to accept he might be one of these type of players. It's going to be frustrating. He was outstanding on Sunday, but today I'm afraid not in the game at all. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0. Corner to the home side, who lead through Wes Burns' goal. Steve Kitchen,
and deservedly so.
Yeah, indeed. Here's the corner, and Trevor Carson comes and gathers it. And immediately, oh dear, now was he fouled there? He's given the ball away. regardless. And Oxford are able to play the ball into the penalty area, and now Carson will come out. What he was trying to do was just chip the ball to Jack Dunn, and he almost fell over as he did so, with the result that the ball barely went 30, 40 yards, and Cheltenham on the back foot, which Oxford fortunately couldn't make the most of. So we'll be going to studio for more goals in just a moment. Half an hour gone. Oxford lead Cheltenham by 1-0. And as Mark Halliwell says on the balance play, deservedly so. Cheltenham just haven't created anything at all. And Dunn is easily beaten in the air. Ferdinand tries to win the loose ball back for Cheltenham, can't do so. And here's Holmes Dennis down the Oxford United left. He's pursued by Ferdinand and he beats Ferdinand, but Lee Vaughan helps Ferdinand out. And that's good play by Lee Vaughan. And then here is Vaughan, and Vaughan in a ball trying to get in behind the defence. It's not a good ball. Looking for Gornell. Across comes Dunkley, and Gornell actually stops the ball being played forward. It's a throw for Oxford United, level with their own corner flag. Down the Oxford United left. We've had 31 minutes. It's Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0. Here, Cheltenham are a goal behind. Lovely turn by Kevin Stewart, who was fouled. Free kick for Cheltenham. Stewart is growing into this game. He's starting to boss it, isn't he?
He is. He looks very confident.
He does. He's played it short to Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett's, oh dear, that's a poor ball by Brian Barrett. It's a good job there's no webcam on Mark Halliwell, because he's getting increasingly frustrated by what he's seeing.
Well, you wouldn't believe that Sterling James is the same player as we saw last Sunday. He's just been totally invisible in this game. And Terry Gornell, you know, these young lads, they need some help from the more senior players. And at the moment, I'm afraid they're not getting it. They're not, you know, Stewart's, you know, is the midfield player who's holding the Cheltenham midfield together, while Richards and Ferdinand have been you know, not so good. And then defensively, Lloyd Jones has made a couple of good play, you know, done a couple of good things defensively, while his more senior colleagues have had problems. So really, you know, some of these senior players need to step up a bit. There aren't many of them, I know, but they need to step up. The Troy Browns, the Matt Richardses, Kane Ferdinands, they're senior players in this team. They need to step up a bit because they're not doing it at the moment. Forward by Carson, up towards Gornell. Gornell are beaten in the air. It'll fall to Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett's ball forward is something or nothing really, but he'll get a second chance, and he heads it forward up towards Dunn. Dunn beaten by Dunkley, and Cheltenham then just collectively stop, helped on by Richards. Good control by Gornell. Gornell is frustrated because the referee has stopped play, and because Brian Barrett's down. Brian Barrett was down. I'm not sure the referee gave a foul. Didn't he? No, he just stopped the play because Brian Barrett down with potentially got flattened, a head injury. BBC Radio Gloucestershire, first match day of 2015. Happy New Year to you all if you're just joining us along. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0. Reminder, the rugby at 4:30. That will be on AM and DAB from 4:30. The football will continue on FM. And that is a game, of course, at Sandy Park, Exeter. Chiefs against Gloucester. Here, Oxford 1, Cheltenham 0. The goal scored by Wes Burns, and Oxford deservedly Mark Halliwell on the balance player. Yeah, definitely so. Yeah. Cheltenham need more in the final third. They need to get to. They haven't really got an outlet in the final third, I'm afraid, because Sterling James has been not in the game whatsoever. He was the one last week who was providing it all. He's the one who's meant to provide it all here, but he's not doing so. Here's Burns. Burns into the penalty against Lloyd Jones. Oh, he's turned Jones and goes for goal, and it's just wide. Good play by Wes Burns, the goal scorer. He turned Lloyd Jones rather too easily for comfort inside the penalty area, and actually it was a decent chance, and the finish wasn't really that good. No, it was a decent chance. It was, and Burns will think that was a half opportunity. He did quite well, did well in the box, wriggled around. Jones, of course, couldn't dive in the penalty area. Would have given the penalty away, probably would have got sent off because he's already had a yellow. So he had to be very, very careful what he did there. Good header by Stewart to Sterling James. Sterling James to Richards, and Richards to Stewart, and Stewart to Dunn, and back to Stewart. Good football by Cheltenham. Stewart on the edge of the penalty area. He's going through. He's still going through. He goes for goal and gets it wrong, but that was good football. Good link-up play. Kevin Stewart again linking up with Dunn, and again, Cheltenham's best attacking threat is coming from the centre midfielder. Yeah, did well there. Went through. probably Cheltenham's first shot on goal of any sort of description at all. Wasn't the best. It went well over the bar, but even so, we can mark it down as a half opportunity. Did very, very well. Kevin Stewart got himself into a good position, but then couldn't find the shot.
Ball out of play over on that far side. West Burns can't keep it in play. It's a throw for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham left, level with their own penalty area. Steve Kitchen in the studio. 8-1 treble 3. Gloss as a first word of your text. Standard network charges apply. Who do you think have been the hits and misses of 2014-15 so far? Or tweet at BBC Gloss. Brian Barrett forward looking for Gornell. Gornell's chest to Dunn, and Dunn rather ambitiously volleys it forward. No one there for Cheltenham. There's just no supporters there because the midfield balance. Again, I keep saying the midfield balance is wrong. It's wrong.
As you say, he didn't. Buckle didn't want to leave Richards or Ferdinand out of the side, so you picked and wanted to play Stewart. So
I think you're going to play all three, Mark. You play three in midfield, don't you?
Yes, but you can't. And then who do you? What? You're almost playing a 4-3-3, are you?
Well, Sterling James. You need to play three in midfield. Here's Burns. Lovely layoff to him. Burns into the penalty area. Cheltenham need to get a tackle in, and in the end, Troy Brand does, and Matt Richards can clear. And again, I'm afraid there was a great gaping hole for the Oxford team to run through.
Sterling James did well there. Won a header.
Here is Sterling James, and he's got Brian Bad outside him. And Sterling James says, no, I'll do something by myself, and then gives the ball away looking for Dunn. And Oxford are able to lay the ball back. You can see what Cheltenham are trying to do. You can see the passing game Paul Buckle wants them to play.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm afraid it's not coming off.
No, that's basically what it is. And also, you got to remember, three new players in the team. It's not going to happen overnight.
Now, here again is part of the problem, which is Meads down the Oxford United right, who's gone away from Stewart. And Stewart, who's a centre midfield player, had to go across and cover Sterling James. And the ball comes into the penalty area, and it's deflected behind for a corner. The shot was by Roberts. And the problem is coming down that Cheltenham left. And usually we might be casting aspersions on the left back, Mr. Brian Barrett, but today he's getting no support from Amari Sterling James.
No help from
Sterling James. What happened there was Sterling James is supposed to be playing right side of midfield. The player who tracked back was Kevin Stewart.
Yeah.
Corner for Oxford United. In it comes. It's a good corner as well. And it's headed behind, is it, for a goal kick? Yes, the referee does say the ball's gone out of play. It is a goal kick for Cheltenham. And Trevor Carson wanted to initially, as is his wont, take it quickly, but in the end he bowls it wide to Lloyd Jones, and Jones short to Vaughan, and Vaughan to Ferdinand, who didn't really want it there, and he's done well, came Ferdinand. Ferdinand up to Dunn. Dunn tries to spin his man. It doesn't work. Isn't quite working for Jack Dunn this afternoon. You can see what he's trying to do, but it's not quite working.
He's got that pace, and he wants to try and spin his central defenders, get them turning the wrong way and use his pace, but it's not.
No, that's good football by Cheltenham. Sterling James to Richards, and Richards to Kevin Stewart. And whenever I say the name Kevin Stewart, he's at the heart of everything good Cheltenham are doing. Here's Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett to Sterling James. Sterling James shot. Nothing wrong with that, but it's blocked by Andy Wing. And now here's Hilton, midway inside his own half. Again, good tackle by a Cheltenham player. And now suddenly into the penalty area is Gornell. And Gornell can't pull the trigger quickly enough.
Good defending by Dunkley, actually. Very good defending by Shea Dunkley. Just got a foot in there. Terry Gornell just looked for a moment he was going to get through. I don't think he ever got past Dunkley. Dunkley did well defensively, but again, little promising little cameo there from Cheltenham going forward.
And it came by Stewart winning the ball fairly high up. Here's Troy Brown for Cheltenham. Leaves it to Matt Richards. And here's Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett back to Matt Richards. Matt Richards needs a runner. Hasn't got one. Now he has got one, and that runner's Gornell. And Dunkley is there. And Dunkley kicks the ball against Gornell and now lays it back to Clark. And Clark will need to clear because Dunn is trying to close him down. Good play by Clark. Brings in Holmes Dennis. Holmes Dennis away from Ferdinand. And Oxford are going back. The reason they're going back is because that was good pressure. Again, I know it sounds like it's a one-man show, but it was Kevin Stewart again.
It was Stewart who put the pressure on.
Now, here's Vaughan to Stewart. Stewart's in a good position, 35 yards from goal. And tries to play the reverse ball. That was a bit ambitious. But he keeps possession and finds Richards, and Richards will find Brian Barrett down the Cheltenham left. Brian Barrett cuts inside his man. No width down the Cheltenham left. There is width down the Cheltenham right through Lee Vaughan, and it's gone back to Lloyd Jones, and Lloyd Jones has found Troy Brown, and Cheltenham are back inside their own half. 5 minutes gone half time. Oxford 1, Cheltenham Town at 0. Here's Matt Richards for Cheltenham down the Cheltenham left. Gornell's fallen over. That's not very helpful. I have to get up. And now Cheltenham can spread the ball wide to Lee Vaughan. So Vaughan against Holmes Dennis. Can he perhaps beat his man? He cuts in field, plays the ball short, done inside the penalty area. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Jack Dunn on his Football League debut for Cheltenham. That is absolutely brilliant. He picked the ball up on the turn, one motion. Goalkeeper possibly should have done better, but it is a phenomenal goal by Jack Dunn. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 1.
Well, it came out of absolutely nothing. Out of absolutely nothing. The ball played in by Lee Vaughan into the right-hand side of the penalty area. Didn't look like to be any danger at all. And just on the spin, bang, under Ryan Clark, into the back of the net. Out of absolutely nothing, Cheltenham are level. And that is why the kids at Liverpool, that's why he's there, because that's what he's got. That was absolutely top quality.
Yeah, superb goal. Absolutely superb goal. Try and watch that. Wondering now, because it was at the FA Cup. I don't know if there is a Football League show tonight, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it on social media and club highlights. I mean, yeah. Terrific goal.
Points West.
Oh, terrific.
Be able to see it on Points West on Sunday and Monday, I'm sure.
Absolutely terrific goal. It just instantaneous, and here's the cliche, but it was the finish of a born finisher. That was a poor tackle by Lloyd Jones. It's an air shot.
He's got to be careful.
He does need to be careful. Good play by Vaughan, who made the goal. Here's Burns, midway inside the Cheltenham half. Carries the ball and then tries to phone Holmes Dennis. He'll get a second chance and then he can't control it. And what a fillip that is for Cheltenham.
Wow.
In the run-up towards half-time. They haven't, you can see the way Paul Buckle wants them to play. They haven't really created anything. First time they create something.
Wow. That's what you want, isn't it? Cheltenham wants somebody who can create something out of nothing, who can get a goal out of nothing. And that's what that was. That wasn't even a quarter chance, really,
superb goal
for Jack Dunn. It was just, and that is what Cheltenham have been lacking, that little bit of something special to really create something out of nothing, turn these chances into goals. And my word, he didn't have. I'm still stunned by it. It really was. It was just, there was just nothing. I thought, he'll do well to get anything out of this. I thought when the ball went into him, back to goal, and then he just span and banged it into the bottom corner of the net.
Here's Gornell. Cheltenham are playing with a bit more confidence as well. They might. Here's Richards. To Ferdinand. Ferdinand has got a man outside him. Instead of he goes to Dunn. Dunn again tries to spin his man every time he's trying to do the same trick, but it's worked once. Now here's Cheltenham need to win it back. They do with Kevin Stewart. Look at this. He's bossing the midfield. Stewart is bossing the midfield. I know Dunn's got the goal, but Stewart has been outstanding.
It has been excellent for Cheltenham.
Here's Lee Vaughan. Vaughan, who made the goal, takes the route down into the penalty area. Oh, the goalkeeper drops it and gets it at the second attempt. I will say this. It was a great goal by Dunn. I'm not sure about Ryan Clark for the goal.
No.
I'm not sure
about
Ryan Clark.
I think it went through him.
2 minutes to go to half-time. BBC Radio Gloucester. Steve Kitchen's match day. Gloucester against Exeter to come from Sandy Park. Here, though, it's 1-1. And Cheltenham equalising through Jack Dunn. Here's Holmes Dennis. Holmes Dennis's ball in, poor ball. And that's not even going to go behind for a goal kick. It's going to curl out of play for a throw over on the far side. A couple of minutes to go to half-time. Steve Kitchen, some more goals.
Oh, my word. I'm still old enough to remember Blythe Spartans in 1978. I think they got to the 5th round and lost to Wrexham, 42,000 at St James's Park.
That's right. Wrexham scored from a corner. It was never, ever a corner.
Was that Dixie McNeil and co playing for Wrexham,
right.
I suspect,
That's
in those
right.
days?
Well, here, it could have, of course, been Cheltenham against Crystal Palace. We all know this hit. But meanwhile, we're back in League 2 action. And here is Roberts trying shot. Well blocked by Cheltenham. They now need to just hold things out until half-time, having got that goal. Here is Roberts on the edge of penalty. He's done well. Burns goes for goal. Good block by Troy Brown. And the Oxford crowd are not the most patient. And Cheltenham are having a decent spell, but they have now got to try and defend the cross. Terrific header away by Lee Vaughan. And suddenly Gornell is away here. Gornell, can he win the header against Dunkley? Dunkley's done well today. He's been impressive, I think, for
yeah, you can see why
visitors.
Mark Yates wanted to sign him, can't you? And He's been one of the best defenders in the conference for many years, and a long overdue move, I think, into league football for Che Dunkley.
Yeah, 3 of that Kidderminster back 4 are now in the Football League. Dimitri at Shrewsbury, Vaughan at Cheltenham, and Dunkley at...
absolutely.
And that presumably is why he conceded 4 goals against Forest Green. Here come, on New Year's Day, here come Oxford down the Cheltenham Town left. In comes a cross, which Carson comes and gathers. We're heading towards the end of first half. Here comes the 4th official to say 2 minutes of stoppage time. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 1, if you're just joining us. Oxford ahead through Wes Burns' header, but a sharp turn and finish by Jack Dunn, equalising for Cheltenham. And, you know, important at all kinds of level that Cheltenham Town score a goal.
Well, absolutely.
Scored many of them. Here he's done. He's done well. He's found Gornell down the Cheltenham right. Not many men for Gornell to hit, so he lays it back to Ferdinand. Ferdinand to Matt Richards. Richards has got Lee Vaughan outside him. Lee Vaughan who made that goal. Let's not forget that. Vaughan tries to put a cross in. He will force a corner. Cheltenham's first corner.
I was going to say.
Cheltenham's first corner of the half.
Cheltenham's first corner of the half, yeah, definitely.
Matt Richards to take it. Troy Brown and Lloyd Jones go forward. Here comes Richards' corner. It's short. Back it goes to Richards. Richards can look up. Plays it short. Here's Stewart with a shooting opportunity. Goes for goal! And it's in! The goalkeeper's made a terrible mistake. And Kevin Stewart has become the second loanee to score for Cheltenham. It's a poor error by Ryan Clark. But Kevin Stewart, like Jack Dunn before him, has scored on his debut. It's Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2.
Well, that's a horrendous goalkeeping error. And I was about to berate Matt Richards for the short corner, because, you know, I hate short corners. And it was played about, and they were mucking about on the edge of the box. It came to Stewart. Just a hopeful shot from Kevin Stewart, and Ryan Clark. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But we'll take it. And Cheltenham scored 2 in a game for the first time under the new manager, Paul Buckle.
And in the league, they scored the first time 2 goals in the game for the first time since they last won a game, which was at Cambridge on October the 21st. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. We'll take them, Mark. We really will.
We'll take them. Ryan Clark won't want to watch them.
Ryan Clark definitely at fault for the second. I think he possibly could have done better for the first. Although, like all of us, I think he was just shocked at the speedy reactions of Jack Dunn.
Well,
good header by Lloyd Jones.
He probably was, yeah.
Now we need to get to half-time now. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. Who would have thought it after that relatively early goal by Wes Burns for Oxford? Both loanees, or 2 of the 3 loanees have scored for Cheltenham, and it's Stewart who's been Cheltenham's man of the match in the first half.
He has been.
Forward, and now Omari Sterling-James gives the ball away. That is half-time, and the Cheltenham fans who are in the stand opposite to us get to their feet. A few boos from the home fans. Half-time, who would have thought it after Wes Burns headed home Danny Hilton's cross to make it 1-0. Cheltenham coming back with Lee Vaughan's in ball into Jack Dunn, who turned and fired almost all in one motion to make it 1-1, and then a terrible goalkeeping error by Ryan Clark right on the half-time whistle, letting through a long-distance shot from Kevin Stewart. Mark Halliwell, Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2.
Well, even the most partisan Cheltenham fan will have to concede that Cheltenham was second best for quite long periods of that half, but they've gone off at half-time 2-1 up, thanks to the 2 boys from Liverpool. And Kevin Stewart has been excellent. He's got better and better as the game's gone on. And, well, that's what we said before, haven't we? When Cheltenham have been a bit shot shy on the edge of the box, just have a go. You never know what's going to happen. And that's what Dunn did, and he scored. And that's what Stewart did, and he scored. Buy a ticket, you win the lottery. And Cheltenham are winning the lottery so far. It's a little bit masks and bandits and sombreros, isn't it, that Cheltenham are 2-1 up, Pete? But, hey, we'll take it.
There we are. Half-time, Steve Kitchen. Who would have thought it? Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2.
Well, just have a shot, I think, because Ryan Clark, well, the second one especially, I mean, the shot went towards goal, and I thought, oh, well, he'll gather that one quite easily. And then the next thing I see, it's nestled in the bottom corner of the net. So I think the manager will say, keep shooting, boys. He'll want them to keep the ball better. He'll want to do something about that right-hand side where John Meads is getting in a little bit too easily down that right-hand side. He'll want to do something. I think he'll just want to do something about their ball retention, about their passing. It hasn't been quite good enough. But, Kevin Stewart, but we were talking before the game, Steve, weren't we? Is it a gamble to bring these 3 Liverpool boys in? 45 minutes in, it's looking like a pretty good gamble. Let's hope it carries on that way. No, unfortunately not. It would be nice. It would be nice. Yeah. Could we go home, please? Yeah.
I think something might have been right now because at half time, I'm staggered to say,
369,171. 369,171. We've also opened a tattoo shop up in Wrexham. So if you want a tattoo, that's the 3 month waiting list.
We've already had 3 goals.
Massive round of applause again. Please, Mark Wright, right up, thanks, guys. A quick presentation at half-time here. Our sports partners, the Oxford Stars, are here as our guests tonight. Next Sunday, we're trying to get some production ladies at the ice rink. And we're trying to invite you guys to the daughters to come and watch them. All the season ticket holders and supporters that are here tonight. The session of our side, our fire, 4 hours to the right. Just take your seat, typical continue with your stop. Round of applause for our ice hockey stars from Oxford. The 6:15, it's got to kick off, it's a face off.
And it's the Sam Stadium, United might shut.
Representing a shirt to our CEO, please welcome to the pitch our CEO Mark Aston. Round of applause for Mark Aston, please, thank you. See every time I go forward, and they know. Obviously, with the teamwork with the Stars and Oxford United.
Let's tell you about what's happening in local football today. Bradley Oxford City playing tomorrow, no Coventry North game today. Banbury United game is off, as is North Leeds. Both those games should be down in Dorset. Merthyr 4, Wantage 0. From Division 1 South and West in the Southern League.
The ice rink in Oxford, 6:15, face off. Half price Oxford United. Thank you very much, Mark. And thank you guys for the Stars. Thanks, boys. Well done. Unfortunately, due to the weather that we've had in the last couple of days, we are now postponing half-time entertainment. I'm sure it's some of them which will be pretty much.
very much indeed, Steve. BBC Radio Sports. Next to Lakeside and tell you what's happening in the World Championship golf. First round action, Peter Hedman, the opposite player us against Axel Robin Howard.
There are new community development courses this week. In fact, we start the week commencing January 13th, my apologies. Monday the 13th of January, and also with Vista. And also, very full details on our website, ofc.co.uk. We've also got all the news, of course, from the South Stadium. Also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, the very latest from the football club.
Yeah, we said that.
FA scores for you on the scoreboard now. The third round time, of course, ladies. Goals cast in Middlesbrough. Next week, I think. Live Fox 2. Goals cast in Wigan.
On Monday, 81333. Starting to get involved with us here at BBC Radio Oxford Sport. Some of the changes after the first 45 minutes. How can say Clark had no chance for the first goal? I wouldn't say that. Line back, said Andy in Abingdon. Heading to the conference, Leicester midfield, says Nathan John. Graham says started off okay, but now he's got the pieces. What the Cheltenham problem was, O'Dowda on for me, Collins on for wing. We've got to go for it now. Mr. Hamilton closed the door behind him. Complete failure, says Steve in March. I can't comment about the game today because I've saved my money by not going. We say it every week, small when you're on top and control the game with our passing play, run the game down. What happens if we overplay in dangerous areas, concede, stop the goal, give ourselves another struggle. All is not lost. So we're certainly on the back foot now. Link's yellow. Beavis says, fed up with overcasting rubbish and Roberts doesn't look fit. Yeah, should be careful with the hamstring condition. With the word on.
Swansea struggling
that way. On Twitter, @BBC Oxford Sport. Let's tell you what's been going on elsewhere. FA Cup, Barnsley 0, Middlesbrough 0. As you've heard, Blythe 2, Birmingham 0. Bolton 0, Wigan 0, Brentford 0, Brighton 0. Cambridge beat Luton and all beat match 5 goals 0. Charlton 0, Blackburn 1, Derby 0, Southport 0. Doncaster 0, Bristol City 0, Fulham 0, Wolves 0, goalless as well, Huddersfield against Reading. Leicester 1, Newcastle 0. Premier League game, Millwall 1, Bradford 1. Preston 0, Norwich 0. Rochdale beating Nottingham Forest by 10 goals 0. Rotherham 1, Bournemouth 1. Rotherham had the lead in that game. Tranmere 0, Swansea 1 in the tie that could have been Oxford against Swansea. And Gateshead 2-0 down. And Tony Pulis' West Brom. In League 1, Swindon go top of the table if they win. Fleetwood 0-0 at half time. Port Vale 1, Gillingham 1, Walsall 0, Coventry 1. Elsewhere in League 2 this afternoon, Burton 0, Shrewsbury 0, Dagenham 0, Bury 0, Exeter 1, Accrington 0, Morecambe 0, Stevenage 0, Newport 1, Carlisle 1, Northampton 0, Southend 0, Wycombe 1, Hartlepool 0, York 0, Plymouth 0. Here at the South Stadium, Oxford 91, Cheltenham 2. Here's what's happened so far on BBC Radio.
Continue to our next game at the South Stadium on January 17th in Southend. Our available for the ticket numbers 4 online as well. Sad news to reach us at the football club over the festive break. Titan Edmonds passed away over Christmas. His brother Jimmy sits in the south stand lower. Our thoughts to the football club going to Jimmy and the rest of Michael's family. Our thoughts with them at this sad time.
Oxford out. Studio. Okay.
No, I know. No. Went under his body a bit. Lad turned very well, didn't he?
Cheltenham out as well. Yes, they are. Yeah, Cheltenham out. Yeah. You might need to pop this, I think.
We are live at the Sham Stadium. We're hoping throughout the second 45 minutes. And Oxford United haven't made any changes to personnel. Have got to do something significant. Turn starting to post. Round 2-1 going into the second 45 minutes.
To the Kassam Stadium for second half commentary of Oxford United against Cheltenham Town with Mark Halliwell and first Peter Matthews.
Thank you, Steve. Welcome back to Kassam Stadium. That doesn't get any warmer, I can tell you, as Oxford kick off the second half, attacking the home end, which is away to our right as we sit here in the main stand. No changes made by either side at half-time, which ended with a rather surprising score of Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2, particularly given the first 35 minutes of the game, which I think the consensus view in the press room was Cheltenham, Mark Halliwell, a bit fortunate to be ahead, to put it mildly.
Yes, definitely. We've been in the press room here with all the media and the scouts, and a couple of them I've been chatting to in there, been saying exactly that. One in particular I was chatting to is watching for Hartlepool, who of course Cheltenham go to next week.
Cheltenham have changed formation at the start of the second half. We'll come on to that in a moment. Here come Oxford, down the Oxford United left. Shea Dunkley now in the centre half position. Spreads the ball across, headed away by Lee Vaughan for Cheltenham. Only as far as Burns. Burns up against Kevin Stewart. Stewart gets in 2 tackles. He's playing now as a shield. And they're playing effectively 4-1-3-2. With Ferdinand on the right, Sterling James in the centre, Richards on the left, Stewart as a defensive shield, and the 4 defenders and 2 strikers who will give you in a moment when there's a break in play. Cheltenham concede a foul. Jack Dunn fouls his man, which was Johnny Mullins, and that's a free kick for Oxford United. So very quickly, the Cheltenham team, Carson in goal, Brian Barrett left back, Vaughan right back, Jones and Brown the 2 centre halves, Stewart, Richards, Sterling James and Ferdinand, and up front Dunn and Gornell. Free kick for Oxford. In it comes towards the back post. good header away by Troy Brown for Cheltenham, and then good defending on this near side by Sterling James. Ball goes out of play, and it's a throw for Cheltenham Town, down the Cheltenham Town left. The substitutes for Cheltenham, I'll just give you those before we get the early thoughts from Mark Halliwell. Matt Gould, Byron Harrison, Jack Demon, Andy House, Joe Hanks, Zach Kavitsa, and Harry Williams.
Cheltenham need to get the pace of Sterling James into the game a bit more if they can. He just wasn't in the game really in the first half, and they need to keep the ball better.
A shot from distance by Burns after he got away from Lloyd Jones.
As I say, they gave it away there. That's what I meant. Cheltenham just got to be a bit stronger in that challenge. And Hilton won that ball. Sorry, Burns won that ball a bit easily and was able to shoot. But luckily for Cheltenham over the bar, got to keep the ball better. I think Cheltenham, what they'll try and do in this second half maybe is try and play on the break, try and use the pace of Sterling James and the pace of Dunn. And if I'll tell you what, I'm still getting over that goal of Jack Dunn's. It was such a fantastic finish. And there's people, we've been talking in there, people like Russell Milton and Brian Tinian, the old Bristol City manager. He's here watching this game as well. All of them were talking. That was the only real conversation. What a goal that was. Wow, what a finish, etc., etc., etc.
Ball played forward, looking for that man Dunn, and Dunn will give chase, and so too will Gornell. And Gornell and Dunn have done well between them, and they've forced Oxford to rather hurriedly clear it, and then Sterling James falls over the ball. He's just not in the game, Sterling James, at the moment.
It's not going for him today.
It isn't. He's having a
it
difficult
all went
game.
for him last Sunday.
Yeah, he's having
just
a
one of those days today, though.
Here's John Meads, cuts in 5 from the Oxford United right flank, but gives the ball away. And here's Gornell for Cheltenham to Ferdinand. Ferdinand to Stewart. Good passing by Cheltenham. Here's Sterling James. And Sterling James on this occasion does well. Lays the ball to Ferdinand. Ferdinand has got Gornell available, instead of which he goes wide to Lee Vaughan. Vaughan back to Ferdinand. Sterling James takes a tumble, needs to get up. Cheltenham at the moment down to 10 men. Here's Stewart. Good, solid play by Stewart. Wins a free kick for Cheltenham and finds Matt Richards. Richards into the centre circle and spreads the ball wide to Brian Batt. Bit of space down the Cheltenham left here for Brian Batt. Runs at Meads. Cuts inside Meads. Now goes outside Meads. Gets a cross in and done at the near post. Very nearly got that. It goes back to Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett tries to beat his man. Can't do so. And Oxford actually play that very well. And then Wing promptly gives it away. He had Dunn on the edge of the penalty area. Dunn turns his man and goes for goal. And Ryan Clark drops the ball. Corner. He's having a difficult afternoon, Ryan Clark. It bounced in front of him. But he should have gathered that, Mark.
Oh, it was terrible goalkeeping. But again, Jack Dunn lively and sharp on the ball. First thing in his mind was, I'm going to turn, I'm going to have a shot. And he got it on target as well.
And here he is again from the short corner. And he's won another corner for Cheltenham. Every time they're looking for him because I think they think he can twist and turn. Yeah, he's nowhere near this level, don't get me wrong. But for listeners, he's not dissimilar to a very young Michael Owen.
No.
In terms of how he plays and how he plays off the shoulder of the last man.
You're quite right.
Here is Kane Ferdinand. Ferdinand to Richards. Good play. Now Richards got a opportunity to put a cross in. And here it comes. And again, Ryan Clark is nowhere. And Jack Dunn very nearly gets in on the end of it.
I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic cross from
Richards.
Matt Richards.
Superb cross.
Absolutely brilliant cross. One of the best crosses, I think, that a Cheltenham player has put in all season. It was that good. It was a fabulous ball in. And Ryan Clark, as you say, was absolutely nowhere near it.
5 minutes gone in the second half. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. BBC Radio Gloucestershire. Steve Kitchen's match day. Don't forget, Steve in the studio. 8-1-3. Gloss is the first word of your text. Standard network charge applied. Tweet at BBC Gloss. If you want the rugby, don't forget the build-up to Gloucester's trip to Exeter is on AM and DAB. Here you're on FM for the football. And Lloyd Jones is in trouble here against Hilton. And Hilton's beaten him. And Hilton's got a man over and it's going to fall with a driven shot into the penalty area by Tariq Dennis. It cannons off Roberts and goes behind for a goal kick. He was offside anyway. And Jones got turned again there.
Yeah, just got to be careful. Lloyd Jones,
on a yellow.
He is. I just wonder whether, I'm not saying Paul Buckle might take him off, but it's just something he's got to be a bit careful about because he doesn't want to go down to 10 really. And Jones there just struggled a little bit there he struggled a little bit against Danny Hilton today, but it's all part of the learning curve for him.
Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. Both goals scored by Liverpool loanees. Jack Dunn with a wonderful goal. and then a shot from distance by Kevin Stewart, who's played well, although he was at fault for the Oxford goal, lost possession fairly high up. And Stewart's shot, I'm afraid, really should have been saved by Ryan Clark. It wasn't, and Cheltenham lead by 2-1.
And somehow, yes, you have to say, hey, but no, you take your chances and you win football matches, and that's what it's been about for Cheltenham today. They've had a couple of not even half chances. Okay, the goalkeeper made an absolute Horlicks of one of them, but Cheltenham, they've taken the chance and they've got the lead.
Well played, Brian Barrett.
Forces
a corner for Cheltenham, who started the second half positively. They lead here by 2-1.
Brian Barrett's got more into the game from an attacking point of view.
The midfield looks more balanced to me.
It does.
With Stewart as a defensive shield.
It does much better.
There's not much width, which means Brian Barrett and Vaughan have got to provide that width, of course. They played that free kick short, and Stewart miscontrols it. He has done inside the penalty area. Goes past one man, goes past two, can't get his crossing goal kick.
Got the attendance, 5,360 for the Kassam, and there are 499.
No, there's not. There's 501 because we're here.
Because we're here, yeah. 499 Cheltenham fans. So a good turnout, 500 Cheltenham fans, and they're enjoying their afternoon at the moment.
And I don't think there's any doubt that the signing of the 3 Liverpool lads has contributed to that Cheltenham turnout.
Oh, definitely. No doubt about it at all. No doubt about it.
Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. 8 minutes gone in the second half. Long way to go. As Hilton just spins away again from his man, and Matt Richards makes a good tackle, and Stewart gives away possession, and that could be a card for the Cheltenham man. Hilton span his man, and I'm afraid Richards wasn't strong enough in the tackle, and Kevin Stewart brings Hilton down, and Stewart just taking a knock. Will he escape a yellow card? I don't think he's going to, I think the referee's going to have a word. Oh, perhaps he is. I got to be honest. I think that was.
I thought that was a yellow card. Yeah, because I think Hilton had got away from him. And I think
Hilton's causing all kinds of problems.
Hilton is the danger man. He is the big danger man. He's the focal point, and then you've got the movement and the little bursts of pace from Burns and from Roberts as well. But Hilton's the one they've really got to stop. They've got to. If they can keep him off the ball, they'll be fine. The
vanishing spray.
The cheer is for the vanishing spray.
And here's Josh Ruffles. He's a long way from goal, 35, 40 yards from goal. But he goes for goal. And Carson, I think we'll say, had that one covered. Dives across to his left. And the ball goes past the left-hand post. Goal kick for Cheltenham Town.
Worth a try. Away fans thinking that Trevor Carson's already wasting time.
I think, I'm not sure whether Cheltenham defensively, I know they've only conceded 1 goal in each of Paul Buckle's games, but I don't think you get good money on them not conceding again today. I think they're going to have to score again.
I think they are, yes.
Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2. Cheltenham don't score 3 in a game very often at all.
Not very often at all, no.
Don't score 2 in a game very often.
No.
And the cynics amongst us might say they don't score 1 in a game very often. But they lead here by 2-1 as Vaughan puts the ball out of play for a throw to Oxford United level with the Cheltenham penalty down the Oxford United left. Now, they're backing off a little bit here, and Ruffles plays a diagonal ball into Hilton, and Hilton has got away from Brian Barrett into the penalty area. Hilton back to goal. Can he get a crossing? Good defending by Brian Barrett in the end. He did lose his man. Poor ball away by Richards. Andy Wing comes away from one man. Oh, and Stewart flies in. Referee plays advantage. Oxford still have a shooting chance here. They go for goal. It's a well over the top goal kick, and Stewart again is walking a tight line. I think we'll give him that as being a robust challenge. No comparison between Kevin Stewart and some of the players we've seen playing centre midfield in terms of mobility and ability to get up and down.
No, absolutely. Off the ball, he may have struggled on a couple of occasions today, but he's certainly flying into tackles, and he can shoot from 25 yards as well as he showed with his goal.
Forward by Kane Ferdinand. Ferdinand gives possession away, and Wing plays the ball forward. Good interception by Troy Bowen, but now he's out of possession. And here's Holmes Dennis. Goes away from Lee Vaughan. Down to Cheltenham Town right. Danger here for Cheltenham. Holmes Dennis into the penalty area. Drives the ball back. Great ball back. Shooting chance here for Burns and Roberts. And it's deflected behind for a goal kick. No corner. Referee gives a corner. Thought it might have hit an Oxford player. Hit a Cheltenham player. Cheltenham were pulled apart down their right-hand side. Intelligent fullback play by Holmes Dennis, who I think in the second half has actually been pushed up to play almost as a left wing.
Cheltenham making a change.
substitution.
Hanks on.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that's a good move.
I think that's right.
Sterling James hasn't been his afternoon, so he's withdrawn. And Joe Hanks, after missing the game against Newport, after getting that bang on the shoulder and getting knocked out against Exeter, is back on the pitch. And I think that's a very sensible move.
They are going to be very narrow in midfield now.
They are, yes.
Very narrow in centre midfield. Effectively 4 centre midfield players. But there we go. And not much pace either in that midfield.
No.
It is a corner for Oxford United. We've got a bit of a hold-up. The referee is talking to Wes Burns. Not sure what Wes Burns has done, but he's being talked to. And it is a corner for Oxford United, who trail here by 2-1. In comes the corner. It's to the back post. The Cheltenham have lost their man. And it's an almighty scramble, and it's cleared almost off his own line by Brian Barrett. Headed forward by Oxford into the penalty area. And now Cheltenham can clear with Matt Richards. Just whacks the ball along. Anywhere will do. And Oxford definitely wanted something there. Now here's Cheltenham on the break. Here's Matt Richards. Oh, and Richards tried to release Brian Barrett and couldn't do so. And now Carson will come and gather the ball. It was a poor ball forward. What happened in that goalmouth scramble, Mark?
Well, I think Oxford must have wanted some sort of penalty, because judging by the chant of the crowd, you don't know what you're doing. I think Oxford feel they should have had something in that little goalmouth scramble.
Forward by Stewart. Helped on well by up towards Dunn, and Dunn is offside. It was flicked onto him by Ferdinand, and it's a free kick for Oxford on the edge of their own penalty. BBC Radio Gloucester, 58 minutes gone. Oxford 1, Cheltenham 2, if you're just joining us. Oxford ahead through Wes Burns. Cheltenham's goals coming from 2 Liverpool loanees. Jack Dunn with a cracking finish, and then a shot from distance by Kevin Stewart, and I'm afraid Ryan Clark rather helped on its way into the net. Birmingham have pulled it back up against Bly's Spartans. There were 2 down there, the League One Championship side. They now lead by 3-2, and Wes Thomas, the former Cheltenham man, has scored 2 of those goals.
I remember him scoring a cracking goal here.
I remember him missing a penalty here, Mark, in the
yes.
with about 5 minutes to go.
Yes, he was one of those sort of players who could fashion a goal out of nothing, as Cheltenham have done here this afternoon. And you look at Cheltenham now, just playing with they've got the four central midfields. Richards and Hanks just playing a little bit deeper, and Ferdinand and Stewart have now just pushed a little bit further up the pitch.
I wonder whether Harrison might come on for Gornell. I think that's what I'd be tempted to do. Dunn, lovely back heel to him by Ferdinand. Dunn going across the goal. Oh, he's overrun it, and now, but he'll keep possession. Well played. Oh, that's a good, intelligent ball for Brian Barrett. Brian Barrett into the penalty area and overruns it. Unfortunate for Cheltenham. They could get a third on the break here. I don't think we finished with the goals.
No, I don't think we have. I don't think we have either. Oxford's still looking a real threat, and this Cheltenham back 4, as we've said, not exactly entirely trustworthy at the moment. The Cheltenham back 4, you wouldn't